The following educational video is not intended to sensationalize the subject matter contained within. Its only purpose is to alert and educate the public to what seems to be a serious and rapidly growing epidemic in our nation. Some of the accounts, descriptions, and illustrations in this video are explicit. Viewer discretion is advised.
And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast.
please, everybody, if you have kids, please know what they are being taught in school. I had to read this several times before my brain accepted that this is what passes for 5th grade sex education in Chicago. We are talking about children between the ages of 10 and 12 years old, kids being taught about anal sex complete with diagrams. Disgusting. I have to tell you, if my kid attended that school, there would have been a major incident by now. Among the advice to be given to these children was the following. Use lots of lube and enter anus slowly. From RT, parents at an elite magnet elementary school in Chicago were horrified when they saw the obscene sexual education materials their 5th graders would be learning. The curriculum included condom demonstrations and discussions of anal sex. How to use FCs, anal insertion, easy as 1, 2, and 3. Only teachers were supposed to see the material, WBBM reported. School officials say they're taking steps to make sure teacher resources and supplemental materials are kept separate from the curriculum. So if only teachers were meant to see the material, does that mean that parents wouldn't have found out until after the sex education lesson had taken place?
Chicago, their school curriculum includes sex health education starting in kindergarten. And the 5th graders are actually being taught how to have anal sex. Sexual pleasure. For increased pleasure. And they're encouraged to use lubrication. 5th graders. Appalling and not age appropriate. It is not appropriate. I don't even know what to say anymore. It is so horrifying to see this country collapse into just a cesspool of... I don't even know what to call it anymore. Well, these are the pamphlets that are rammed down the throats of 10-year-olds. The female condom can also be used for anal sex. This is for 5th graders. 5th, 10, 11-year-olds. Squeeze the inner ring between your thumb and middle finger. Insert the inner ring into the anal opening and use your finger to guide it inside. Put your finger inside the condom and push it into the anal cavity. It goes on. There's more. Every parent should be storming Chicago's school boards demanding that this get yanked. And if it doesn't get yanked, they should absolutely pull their kids from the schools. I am horrified at what has happened to this country. It is stunning, incomprehensible, a moral disgrace we have become.
But from the beginning of the creation God made them male and female. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and they shall be one flesh. For in the image of God made he man. And you, be ye fruitful and multiply, bring forth abundantly in the earth, and multiply therein.
pedophilia is now classified as a sexual orientation. Yes, hard to believe. Truth and Action News is reporting the unthinkable. They write that this would seem to be the very first step in tolerating the sodomizing of children. Pedophilia is now officially classified as a sexual orientation under the politically correct term minor attracted person.
The group Berlin spoke to has one goal: to move society a step closer to accepting sexual contact between adults and children, even decriminalize it.
Absolutely. Oh, they're very clear about that.
Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell on this earth forevermore. Said I walk beside the still waters and they restore my soul, but I can't walk on the path of the right because I'm wrong.
Sexual child abuse, yes, pedophilia, is now classified as a sexual orientation.
I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and I fear no evil because I'm blind to it all. In my mind, my gun, they comfort me, 'cause I know I'll kill my enemies when they come. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell on this earth forevermore. Said I walk beside the still waters and they restore my soul, but I can't walk on the path of the right because I'm wrong. No, I can't walk on the path of the right, 'cause I'm wrong.
The earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. And God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth.
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
With the demons to give to children, 988. Unbelievable. You know, I've seen too shirts. Daddy's Little Slut shirt. You see, this was on Amazon. Can you, guys, am I living in the Twilight Zone? Am I living in the Twilight Zone where someone is going to buy their 12-year-old daughter, their 7-year-old daughter, Daddy's Little Slut? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This was in the New York Post. Daddy's Little what now? Amazon now has pulled, thank God, an offensive shirt emblazoned with Daddy's Little Slut to some good old-fashioned Twitter charming, but allowed its third-party seller to be hawking off-colored items. Again, here you see the little girl. The original $18. Yeah, I'm going to pay $18 for a shirt sold. Only baby care care starting going viral Friday morning as images of its shocking slogan circulated through Twitter. It's been available in Amazon since June, with the description claiming it was suitable for playing outside, birthday parties, baby showers, oh, and yes, even your baptisms, among other family-friendly activities. Pedophile baby jumpsuits. Again, here it is, daddy's little F toy. Are you kidding me? Pedophile baby jumpsuits pulled from Amazon outrage. I just look illegal. Guys, I've never ever seen anything like this. I'm getting upset. I'm getting very, very upset right now, brothers and sisters, seeing this trash. Baby jumpers, guys. Baby jumpers that says daddy's little... I can't even read this. This hurts me. This hurts. Let us continue on. Amazon was forced to yank baby jumpsuits emblazoned with, again, a revolting slogan such as daddy's, and I'm not even going to read it. Of course, we see daddy's little slut, as we've seen that, as these shells of these massive backlashes over tasteless duds, with critics are saying aimed at pedophiles. Are you kidding me? It's shocking.
Preteen girls as young as 11 can now legally walk around Colorado topless. Let me repeat that for those who think I'm kidding. Preteen girls as young as 11 can now legally walk around Colorado topless. All thanks to a bunch of women over at the Free the Nipple campaign who like to complain about men staring at their boobs while walking around exposing their boobs.
Okay, let us talk about this new law in the United States. Yes, good old United States. No, this win is for the Free the Nipple campaign, which wants equality for women, right? And they win the right to take their tops off legally in public. Now, the appeal court covers Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, Kansas, New Mexico, and Oklahoma. Now, this win now gives the women to bear all without breaking the law. Now, this is a major win for perverts and pedophiles because we know they want pedophilia to be legal and they are looking for ways to have legal access to our children or to give our children the rights to rebel against parents' authority.
This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. And there followed him a great company of people and of women, which also bewailed and lamented him. But Jesus, turning unto them, said, Daughters of Jerusalem, weep not for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children.
Parents shocked as UK schools teach 6 to 10-year-old kids to touch their private parts in beds and showers. No, it's not just happening in the UK. Do a Google search on public schools teaching how to masturbate, and you will find an awful lot of information about how our public schools are teaching kids to masturbate. All over. Wisconsin, California, Nevada. Well, you can just keep going on and on.
A gigantic, gargantuan elephant has planted his mammoth-sized elephant ass in the corner of the room. But how many of you know he's there? This massive mammal, jungle animal, is so abnormally enormous, so preposterously, impossibly colossal, so stupefyingly, stupidly huge, yet no one seems to care. Well, I'm here to tell you, fellas and belles, this abhorrent elephant's bigger than hell. It could even be said he invokes hell on earth, so be wise not to trespass or trip on his turf. He's the seed that feeds the evil, the valve that drips manure, the spark behind the spotlight, and the keeper of the cures. He's the all-seeing, all-maleficent, inelegant elephant, and he'll feast upon your healthy, beautiful soul. He's sinister and stealthy, tyrannical and wealthy. He's the grease behind the curtain with a penchant for control. He's the asshole in the rabbit hole, and he dwells inside a cave. He'll silver tongue in cymbals to keep you as his slave. Fie upon thee, ye giant elephant, accursed blasphemer of the age, ye demonic force incarnate, Baphomet in silhouette, ye thimble-rigging devil on the wings along the stage. El Grande Elefante. He's right there for you to see him. He's gasoline for the big machine, obstructing us from freedom. His unholy name is Child, and his surname is Abuse. He hides behind a vacant smile to pearly mask you from the truth. His tears are that of crocodiles, his tentacles far-reaching. He'll chase you down and smother you, then laugh at your beseeching. Subject to his altar all, and all of us included, surface slaves to his cabal, while others are secluded. This hideous, insidious elephant gives elephants a terrible name, while children are stolen, beaten and swollen, molested and bloodied and slain. He'll physically abuse you and mentally confuse you. He'll medically misuse you and spiritually diffuse you. Molded minds make docile cogs, programmed by material gods, conditioned acceptance of exceptional frauds. Pawns upon his checkered raft, washing brains in bloody baths, an uninvited monster squatting on the path. Elephant, thy name is Child Abuse, and I here address your presence in this room. Your days are numbered, the jig is up, here soon to meet your inevitable, unenviable doom. Your education's idiotic, your medicine's diseased, your screens are hypnotic, and your promises deceive. Out, beast, vile creature, hither I banish thee. In the name of life, pursuit of happiness, love and liberty. There, right there, tell me that you see that ghastly, gooey, repugnant, repellent elephant with horns and a black goatee. Listen to the children. Hear the whistles blow. Take heed of voices hidden and resolve yourselves to know. The gigantic, gargantuan elephant has planted his mammoth ass. He feeds on youth and innocence, regardless of their class. But you, the privileged lucky ones, the few who know he's there, in the name of the child and everyone, arise. It's our moment now to care. Hi, I'm Benny Wills, and this is Words, Words, Words. That piece, believe it or not, is entitled The Elephant in the Room. And I'm trying something new this week. I'm going to go with a theme. And you may have guessed it, it's child abuse. Before I start, I want to remind you that you can become a sponsor of the show and a sponsor of me by going to patreon.com/BennyWills, or you can make a one-time donation through PayPal, or if you want to send me some cash another way, talk to me. We can work it out. To kick things off, I want to talk about a guy named Roman Polanski. Heard of him? I'm sure you have. He is a director. He's still alive. He directed the movie Rosemary's Baby. His wife, Sharon Tate, was brutally murdered in one of the Manson murders in the late 60s, and he has been unable to come back to the United States for, probably 40 years now, because he drugged and raped a 13-year-old girl. So, let's talk about him. Let's bring some words to life regarding Roman Polanski. First up, I'm going to go all the way back to 2003, when Quentin Tarantino was on the Howard Stern show, and he adamantly defended Roman Polanski in this situation, as have numerous celebrities and Hollywood insiders ever since he was found guilty of drugging and raping a 13-year-old girl. Quentin Tarantino had this to say on the Howard Stern show. He didn't rape a 13-year-old. It was statutory rape. That's not quite the same thing. It's statutory rape. He had sex with a minor. That's not rape. To me, when you use the word rape, you're talking about violent, throwing them down. It's like one of the most violent crimes in the world. You can't throw the word rape around. It's like throwing the word racist around. It doesn't apply to everything that people use it for. He was guilty of having sex with a minor. She wanted to have it. And by the way, we're talking about American morals. We're not talking about the morals in Europe and everything. Look, she was down with it. And she's talked about it. She's talked about it. I'm right. She's talked about it since. Like, no, he didn't do anything to me. It was the technicality of being 13. Now she's an adult. She's got a whole other story. Of course she's going to say this because she knows she was in trouble with her mom. His version sounds more likely. Sounds really, really more likely. He likes girls. She was down with the party. He was down with the party. I don't believe it's rape for these 13-year-old party girls. In 2009, Roman Polanski was finally arrested overseas in Europe while attending or coming back from some film award ceremony where he was getting a Lifetime Achievement Award. And numerous celebrities signed a petition to try to get him out of jail. Those celebrities include, but are not limited to, Natalie Portman, Tilda Swinton, Penelope Cruz, Wes Anderson, Darren Aronofsky, Monica Bellucci, Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu, Ethan Coen, David Lynch, and Harrison Ford. Other celebrities who have over time publicly defended Roman Polanski are Pedro Almodovar, Jonathan Demme, Terry Gilliam, Guillermo del Toro, Peter Fonda, Michael Mann, Asia Argento, Adrian Brody, and Kim Cattrall. Meryl Streep is on record, on video, saying, "I'm really sorry that he's in jail." Whoopi Goldberg, on The View, had this to say, "I know it wasn't rape. It was something else, but I don't believe it was rape. Okay, don't really know what that means, but okay. There's a lot of celebrities protecting this guy for some reason, and a lot of people think that what he did wasn't that bad. Well, let's hear what the victim herself has to say about the encounter. Her name is Samantha Geimer, and she was 13 in 1977. This is her account. "I met him to do a photo shoot. He asked to photograph me for a French fashion magazine. I thought it was a great opportunity. I wanted to be an actress. I was actively auditioning and did some commercials. It seemed like a really great boost to get. We had 2 shoots. One was just up the street from my house, an outdoor kind of like wooded or grassy area, and then the second time he took me to Jack Nicholson's house up in Mulholland Canyon. When I left, my mom didn't realize I was going alone. I tried to take a girlfriend along because I was feeling uncomfortable, but he kind of at the last minute asked her not to go. He picked me up at my house, we picked up some clothing and stuff. I wasn't having any, feelings like something wasn't right. I felt pretty good about it. We were going up there and we were doing the pictures and different outfits and different locations and stuff. And, he was quite nice and seemed like it was going to be fine. We took pictures all day. He took many, many pictures of all different rooms, different outfits, inside, outside. It was like a regular photo shoot. At the end of the evening, after it got later, I was posing with some champagne glasses and I did drink champagne. It got late in the evening and then he went to take some pictures in the hot tub. I was in there, up to here, topless but covered up. I was just assuming this was for a European magazine. I know standards there are a little bit different. So that was even still fine. And I didn't think anything. I assumed if something was showing, it would be cropped out and be appropriate because this was going to be for a magazine and, must be the way things are done. But then he got in the hot tub and that's when I realized that something was wrong. This doesn't feel right anymore. So I told him that I needed to get out of the hot tub and then he needed to take me home because the steam was giving me an asthma attack. I just made it up. I got out, I put a towel on, we walked in the house, and I was going, I really don't feel good. I'm having trouble breathing. I don't remember exactly what I said. I was like, yes, I need to go home because I'm not feeling well. And then that progressed to, eventually, why don't you come in here and lay down? And that's when I really realized what his intentions were. I didn't fight him off. I said, no, I don't want to go in there. No, I don't want to do this. No. And then I didn't know what else to do. We were alone, and I didn't know what would happen if I made a scene. I was just scared. And after giving some resistance, I figured, well, I guess I'll get to go home after this. He did things, and I didn't do anything. He asked, "Are you on the pill?" And I went, "No." And he goes, "When did you last have your period?" And I said, "I don't know, a week or two, I'm not sure." He goes, "Come on, you have to remember." And I told him I didn't. He said, "I won't come inside of you then." He goes, "Would you want me to go through your back?" And I went, "No." Then he lifted up my legs farther and he went in through my anus. I got dressed. I was crying. I went to the car. He went in to speak to, I think, Angelica Houston. She came home and was quite perturbed to find him there, especially with me. I was upset and I was becoming more and more intoxicated. He says, "Don't tell your mother about this and don't tell your boyfriend about it." He said something like, "This is our secret." And we really didn't chat much on the way home. We just drove back to my house with not a lot being said. So there you go. That's what happened. What she doesn't mention in this interview that I plucked from CNN, this is an interview she gave with Larry King, was that he slipped her a Quaalude in addition to the champagne. She's 13 years old. So he drugged her and he raped her. Quentin Tarantino says she was a party girl. She was into it. Celebrities have been defending this guy and his actions for 40 years. Why? Why is he so protected? I did a little more digging, and I found a couple quotes from Angelica Houston, who was Jack Nicholson's girlfriend at the time. She's the one who came home as Samantha was leaving, caught them after they were finished, and she had this to say in her memoir. "A short while later, Roman and a girl came around the corner. He introduced me to her and said they had been taking pictures. She was wearing platform heels and appeared to be quite tall. Roman collected his jacket and cameras, and they left together. I thought no more of it." Covering your own ass there, Angelica? Because according to Samantha's testimony, you were quite perturbed. And why wouldn't you be if you noticed a crying 13-year-old girl in your boyfriend's house with Roman Polanski? Sounds like someone's trying to save face. But then I found another quote from Angelica Houston. She had this to say very recently. "It's a story that could have happened 10 years before in England or France or Italy or Spain or Portugal, and no one would have heard anything about it." And that's how these guys enjoy their time. My opinion is, he's paid his price, and at the time that it happened, it was kind of unprecedented. this was not an unusual situation. She was 13 years old. He drugged and raped her in the butt. What's interesting about this quote, though, is she says, and that's how these guys enjoy their time, by having sex with drugged-out 13-year-old girls. She also says, this was not an unusual situation. Huh. Is that so, Angelica? So you're alluding to the fact that this has probably been going on for a long time. Possibly even still going on. She and her family were attacked by the media when she came out with this in 1977. How dare she make such accusations towards Roman Polanski, who had lost his wife in those brutal murders 8 years before? How dare she and her family? And he denied it at first. Now, he fesses up to it. In fact, he wrote a book, an autobiography called Roman, where he spells out that, yeah, he likes having sex with young girls. In fact, here's a quote from Mr. Polanski. He says, judges want to f*** young girls. Juries want to f*** young girls. Everyone wants to f*** young girls. That's quite an assumption there, Roman. I personally don't want to f*** young girls. He was in his 40s when this happened. In fact, during the Me Too movement, 3 more women came forward saying that Roman Polanski raped them when they were kids. One said she was 10 years old when it happened. And yet, Hollywood continues to protect this guy. Moving right along, Mr. Polanski is obviously not the first or the last celebrity to be involved in some sort of underage sex scandal. One story I found particularly compelling was one from a woman named Lori Maddox. And she has this to say about a certain icon who we lost a few years ago. What I remember most about the E Club was Bowie. I met him when he was doing the Spiders from Mars tour. I had not yet turned 15, and he wanted to take me to his hotel room. I was still a virgin and terrified. I had probably kissed boys by that point, but I wasn't ready for David Bowie. Maybe 5 months later, I got a call at home from his bodyguard. He told me that David wanted to take me to dinner. I said that I would like to go, but that I wanted to bring my friend Sable. She was dying to f*** Bowie. I figured she would sleep with him while I got to hang out and have fun. At the time, Sable and her sister, Coral, were both dating Iggy Pop up in Laurel Canyon. People there were so high all the time. Quaaludes, heroin, whatever. In the limo ride to the Rainbow, Sable said, "If you touch David, I will kill you." I didn't think she was kidding. We got to the Beverly Hilton and all went up to Bowie's enormous suite. I found myself more and more fascinated by him. He was beautiful and clever and poised. I was incredibly turned on. Bowie excused himself and left us in this big living room with white shag carpeting and floor-to-ceiling windows. We were getting stoned when all of a sudden the bedroom door opens and there is Bowie in this f***ing beautiful red and orange and yellow kimono. He focused his famously two-colored eyes on me and said, "Lori, darling, can you come with me?" Sable looked like she wanted to murder me. He walked me through his bedroom and into the bathroom, where he dropped his kimono. He got into the tub, already filled with water, and asked me to wash him. Of course I did. Then he escorted me into the bedroom, gently took off my clothes, and de-virginized me. 2 hours later, I went to check on Sable. She was all f***ed up in the living room, walking around, fogging up windows, and writing, "I want to f*** David." I told him what she was doing and that I felt so bad. Bowie said, "Well, darling, bring her in." That night, I lost my virginity and had my first threesome. I saw David many times after that for the next 10 years, and it was always great. Not long after my night with Bowie, I got a call from some guy saying he was Jimmy Page. I knew it was a prank phone call. Led Zeppelin was the biggest rock band in the world. Why would Jimmy be calling me at home? But then, a couple of weeks later, Sable and I were at Iggy's place where we found out that Led Zeppelin was staying at the Hyatt House. They had the entire 9th floor. On the way over, Sable said to me, "You keep your hands off Jimmy. If you touch him, I will shoot you. He's mine." I told her that it was okay. I wanted nothing to do with him. So we got to the Hyatt. Everybody was hanging out at the pool, throwing each other in, and Jimmy walked up to me. He said, "Are you Lori? I'm Jimmy. I told you I would be with you." It was him on the phone. I couldn't believe it. That night we all wound up at the Rainbow, where I got approached by Led Zeppelin's manager, Peter Grant. He said, "You're coming with me, young lady." I wound up in a limo and didn't know where I was going, but it was to the Hyatt. I felt like I was being kidnapped. I got taken into a room, and there was Jimmy Page. He wore a wide-brimmed hat and held a cane. It was perfect. He mesmerized me. I fell in love instantly. At that point, I was 15 and totally in love with this man. I put him on a pedestal. He will always be one of the great loves of my life. Well, there you go. How do you feel now, knowing that David Bowie deflowered a 14-year-old girl? He's David Bowie. He definitely could have had sex with plenty of women over the age of 18, but he chose, willingly, without hesitation, to have sex with a 14-year-old girl. And who knows how many else? So keeping with this theme, I want to move on over to one of Roman Polanski's actors, Johnny Depp. And I have a feeling I'll be using some more material from or about Johnny Depp in the future. The guy's a total creep. The guy is really dark. And I hate to shatter the illusion for anybody out there who still likes Johnny Depp, but the guy is not a good guy. He's in a band called the Hollywood Vampires. Other members of the band include Alice Cooper and Joe Perry. They have 2 albums. This song is called Welcome to Bushwhackers. I used to drink a lot. I used to smoke a lot. Still do. So what? What's it to you? And that's the way I'm gonna be. I used to scream a lot. I used to fight a lot. Still do. Why not? Boo-hoo. That's just the way I'm built to be. Nobody tells me what to say. Nobody tells me what to do. So if you're feeling froggy, I'll slap you black and blue. Nobody tells me I can't talk. Nobody tells me I can't walk. And if you try and put them cuffs on me, you're gonna wake up lined in chalk. Girls used to jump on me when I was 23. They still do. That's right, I repeat, they still do. Ain't got a thing to prove to you. What goes around comes around, goes around straight on down. So take your best shot and pray you knock me cold. Only way you'll ever shake me. Nobody tells me what to say. Nobody tells me what to do. So if you're feeling froggy, I'll slap you black and blue. Nobody tells me I can't talk. Nobody tells me I can't walk. And if you're dumb enough to swing on me, I'm gonna knock your block right off. Nobody tells me what to say. Nobody tells me what to do. And if you're feeling lucky, son, I'm gonna stomp all over you. Nobody tells me I can't talk. Nobody tells me I can't walk. And if one more time you stink-eye me, I'm gonna stuff you in a box. Me? I was born this way. Might even die someday, if I want. Haha, yeah, we'll see. What happens in between? Don't blame me. You may think I don't care. That ain't the case, I swear, 'cause I do. About me. Just don't care about you. That's the way I'll always be. Nobody tells me what to say. Nobody tells me what to do. I drank your bar tab dry last night, and I clipped your wallet, too. Think you can tell me what to say? Think you can tell me what to do? But here's a news flash for you, 'cause I took your Mary Lou. Johnny Depp, everybody. Alice Cooper, Joe Perry, and others. Poetry. Next up are some words by one of Johnny's good friends. In fact, they even have matching tattoos. That's right, it's Marilyn Manson. They're buddies. Marilyn Manson is a card-carrying member of the Church of Satan. In fact, here's his card. And here's a picture of him with Anton LaVey. In 1993, Marilyn Manson released a bootleg album called Pedophile's Dream. No joke, it's called Pedophile's Dream. I read the lyrics to all these songs in this album, so you don't have to. But the one I want to highlight here is called Sweet Tooth. And remember, this is from an album called Pedophile's Dream. I'm sorry in advance, but it goes like this. Her heart shivers in my hand. She's melting on me like cotton candy. I make the faces that make you cry. I want you more when you're afraid of my disease. Disease is draining me anymore. You're not so pretty please, disease. Disease is draining me. I want you more when you're afraid of me. I will break you inside out. You are mine, you are mine. Her hair hangs in swollen strings. I'm choking on her. It feels so sickening. I make the faces that make you cry. I want you more when you're afraid of my disease. Disease is draining me anymore. You're not so pretty please, disease. Disease is draining me. I want you more when you're afraid of me. I will break you inside out. You are mine. You are mine. In another one of his songs from this album, he says, I am fueled by filth and fury. You know, and while I'm thinking of it, I'm going to read you a quote from Anton LaVey himself, from a book he wrote called The Devil's Notebook in 1992, where he had this to say. Many of you have already read my writings identifying TV as the new god. There's a little thing I neglected to mention up until now. Television is the major mainstream infiltration for the new satanic religion. It's the elephant in the room. No matter what you think of the David Bowie situation, whether you think it's okay because she was into it or whatever, he decided to have sex with a 14-year-old girl. Jimmy Page decided to have sex with a 14-year-old girl knowing how old they were. These are the people we hold up on pedestals. These are our icons, our idols, false idols. In Hollywood, Disney, the Magic Kingdom. What does magic mean? Sorcery. Johnny Depp does Disney movies. Roman Polanski got a standing ovation when he won Best Director for The Pianist. In fact, you can watch it right now. I'm going to include this right now.
And the Oscar goes to Roman Polanski for The Pianist.
Did you see that? Yep, that was Meryl Streep standing for Roman Polanski, the man who drugged and raped a 13-year-old girl and then lied about it. Last but not least, one more celebrity I'll give a voice to. His name is Jared Leto. Perhaps you've heard of him. He won an Oscar also a few years ago for his portrayal of a dying AIDS patient in the movie Dallas Buyers Club. You may also remember him from a teenage soap opera called My So-Called Life. That was the first time I found out who he was. And he's had some interesting photo shoots over the years. You know what? I'll just throw some photos in there right now. There's one. There's another. He also has a band called 30 Seconds to Mars. This is a song called Witness. And as you listen to it, I want you to ask yourself, who do you think the witness is? Witness, tell me what you think of my life. Judge me, jury, if I'm wrong or right. I've got secrets and lies that would blow your mind. You're the one who taught me not to love. I'm the one who taught you to say no. Away I go, away I go, away I am a ghost. Jesus, save me. I'm in love with this hell. Murder, madness, can't escape from myself. I've got secrets and lies that would change your life. You're the one who taught me not to love. I'm the one who taught you to say no. Slow down, slow down, slow down, don't let go. Away I go, away I go, away I am a ghost. And thus concludes this week's episode of Words, Words, Words. It got a little dark this time, but it has to be said. People need to hear this stuff, you know. I'm not trying to promote any kind of conspiracy here. I'm letting these people speak for themselves. Those are all their own words.